for?
This camera?
I'm on you. He's on that one.
I've never done one of these before, actually. I've seen bands do it all the time. So. We're Loserdom and we're Loserdom. It's so weird. I don't even know. I'm Loserdom?
This is.
All right. This is Loserdom. All right, wait, I got it. This is Loserdom, and you're listening to MoonKILL Radio. Yeah. I can see why the bands have a hard time with this. It's really silly. All right. This is Loserdom, and you're listening to MoonKILL Radio. Boy.
Moon Killers, that's right. We're here. We are in for another episode. We are here with Loserdom, George.
That's right.
Okay. If anyone, this guy does look familiar. He is part of the MoonKILL family. Maybe you've seen him with his previous band, Jax Indigo, who we, of course, still love and are still looking for. And you guys out there know where they're at. Call us. We'll find them. How you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah?
Just, I'm happy to still be playing music. Can't complain.
So you did what? 4 songs for us?
Four songs.
We got 4 songs. One of them...
We can go top to bottom if you want.
Well, a couple of them were Jax Indigo songs.
Yeah, the first one was Reality, and the last one was Simple. Those are Jax Indigo songs.
Well, they're Jax Indigo songs. So for anyone that wants to hear an original or what they sound like with a band, you still have all the sites up.
Yeah, Spotify and Bandcamp for all the
Jax Indigo
stuff. Yeah.
stuff.
In Your Face.
Yeah, the EP is called In Your Face, and there's 6.
On that one, I think there's like...
Well, the 6 singles, right?
Oh, yeah. It's the 6 EP.
It's a 6 EP
singles.
as well. So he has that out there as well. But now we're on to Loserdom.
Yeah, Loserdom.
What started this?
I don't know, just needing to keep playing, needing to keep making music. Even before Jax, like I always would, come home from school back in the day and just go into the garage and start demoing stuff. Before I even knew it was going to be for a band, like a lot of the early Jax Indigo stuff was just the demos that I had from when I would, mess around with stuff. So I realized I still have a bunch of songs in my phone that never became anything, old demos, and I'm like, why stop now? Like you just got to keep going. That's pretty much it.
Now is Loserdom? Is it a solo thing? 'Cause you played here acoustic.
Yeah.
You and acoustic. Is that what it's meant to be, or
no? Not at all. I mean, obviously, right now because I don't have a band, it's acoustic. But I definitely see it as like a loud, guitar-driven, mess.
right?
Well,
let's start off with let's get to your beginnings.
Yeah.
You're from Southgate.
Correct.
Born and raised.
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 Born in, I think South Central. I forget which hospital, but somewhere there.
Down the street.
Yeah, we lived in HP for a while, and then like '93 moved to Southgate. Been there ever since.
All right.
Yeah.
Southgate, for any Southgate represent. Anybody out there?
Whoop, whoop.
So what age were you there?
I would have been 3 years old when we moved into
3.
Southgate. So 3 to
So
current.
you basically from Southgate.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Born and raised. What started you off in music? What caught you?
Ooh. Well, my parents had me in piano around 7 or 8. I was just taking piano lessons in Southgate. Arrow Music Center. They're still around. Still doing good things for the community. And I think I was always fascinated by the piano. I was always like, I really want to get good at this. And I remember practicing and being forced to practice and like not getting it right. I remember one time I was in a group that they put together there, like all the kids that were taking lessons at the time. And they'd put it on me to sing Ricky Don't Lose That Number by Steely Dan. Do you remember that? And there was this part at the end of the song where it's like a turnaround. So it's like, Ricky, don't lose that. Ricky, don't, like the vocals go on top of each other. Now, me being like the 7, 8-year-old had no idea that was like double tracked. So I was like, how the hell is that guy singing on top of himself? So here I am trying to learn the keyboard part and trying to sing 2 parts at the same time. And I would like be crying and tell my mom like I can't do it. Like why? How is he singing twice? Like I can't figure it out. And it's just that incessant need of like I need to know how this is done. Like I'd keep doing it, and I think that started that obsession of like I need to figure out how that's played, and I need to do it myself. Even if I mess it up, like I need to do it my way and get through it. And then I left that for a while, and I think I picked up the guitar around 12 or 13. My dad always had a guitar hanging like in the bedroom. And I just looked at it. It was just like a thing. It was a decoration. And it wasn't until I had a cousin that came over and showed me what tabs were on the computer. He's like, what's a tab? And she's like, and she pulls up Come As You Are by Nirvana. And he's like, look, you can follow the numbers. The numbers are assigned to the frets, and you can play the song. And just the fact that I could look at it and then do it, that like blew up my mind. I was like, whoa, I can teach myself some music. Like, that's really cool, And it was off from there. Like every song I'd ever listened to up to that point, I would pull it up on the tab site and then try to, learn it. And I never stopped,
Before that, guitar was a wall mount, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Like guitar became a real instrument for me around that time. And I was just like obsessed. And I think once my dad saw that I was like into it, like he did the thing, that dads do. Like he goes out, he buys you a cheap guitar, and he calls you into the room and like, check this out. And it's like, what? And then you walk in and it's like, there's a guitar there. Like, oh my God, dude, an electric guitar. And you start putting distortion on it. And you start doing all these crazy things that you can't really do on an acoustic. And I don't know, I was obsessed, man. Like, they always pushed me to practice young. And then around that age, 12, 13, they'd have to like knock on the door at 11 p.m. Like, go to sleep, like, shut up, like it's too much. And then I'm just in there like practicing constantly. Like it just became this thing of, and that's what I tell people nowadays, man. It's like people are like, oh, I wish I learned how to play guitar. I'm like, you can still do it. You just have to do it nonstop. And that's what we don't have time for anymore as adults. Like you don't get a chance to come home from work and like, do it until you fall asleep on it, like, but as a kid, that's all you have time for. Like you knock out some stupid ass homework and like you're like, I'm gonna get a D on that. I don't care. And then you play guitar for 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's what like got me. That's what kept me going and through high school and middle school and all that.
Now you got Loserdom now through Jackson. Or were you always a singer or?
It kind of just went that way. Even from that first, Ricky, Don't Lose That Number. Like I don't remember how they asked me to do it or if I volunteered. I mean, I've never been a great singer, but I've always been willing to do it. Like, I've always been the one that's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I love to sing. I love that instrument. Like, it's just weird to use your voice and try to fucking sing a song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always just been the one that, like, it's like, oh, you do it. I'm like, okay, I got it,
Now, do you just sing or... Like, do you sit and, like, study other performers, singers, artists, or whatever you want to call them?
Yeah. I mean, I obsess over that stuff, like...
Like, who out there, past, present, whatever, who out there has either influenced you or you just, like, caught your eye? Like,
yeah. Well, as you know, I'm a huge Green Day fan. So, outside of the music, like, once I finally saw them on video, like, I was like... whoa, like look at them go, like bouncing off the fucking like the stage, and then just the way he like uses his entire arm to play the guitar, or even the kind of the stance he takes when he's singing. Like I obsessed over every little movement. And same thing with like with drums, like something about the way like he'll like open up his face like to the right or to the left, and he's not just like focused on the center. Like all those moves were always like super important to me, So by the time I had a chance to play myself, like at first you start copying that. You're like, I'm gonna do it just like them, and then you realize like, okay, I can kind of see where everything needs to kind of fall and into place to start doing my moves and doing my thing on stage and all that. But yeah, that was a big one. I'm trying to think of who else was another one. It's just they were so big in my head. Like Green Day were so like important to me. Like they were the first band I ever saw live. It's the first record I felt like meant something to me, where I was just like, oh wow, what is this? It blew my socks off, And I think
was it the Dookie album?
It was Dookie, yeah.
It
was like same thing. It was like a CD in a CD case. Like CD cases were just like, it was a decoration. Like you'd leaf through it, you didn't know a damn record. And it wasn't until you finally said, hey, well, why don't I put this in and listen to it and see what happens? It'd be like looking at these wall of records that you got, as a kid and just being, yeah, it's just, you don't touch that. That's for somebody else. But then one day you slip something out. It could be anything. It could be whatever record, but because that's the one that you put on, drop the needle, that's the one that's going to be like, oh my God, So that was me for Dookie. It could have been, in that CD case, it was actually like Three Doors Down, and I'm trying to think of what else was in there. But they could have, I could be talking about Three Doors Down right now.
Bands of that era.
Yeah, of that era. And they were like in that case, but Dookie was the one that just like blew my mind, man. So.
Have you always been a punk fan of punk music?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a sense, like,
or just wasn't till then that you really.
Before that, I think on the radio or whatever wasn't like pop, it was like alternative, and I think I was always a fan of the guitar. Like, I think the guitar has always been the thing to me. Like, whether it's punk or rock, like, just a loud, distorted guitar is what I was into. Like, I was always looking for that in music. And I think punk rock obviously has a lot of that. It's kind of the basis of it, the speed, the energy, the rawness of that. But, I found that to me, like a band like Green Day isn't necessarily punk, but the fact that they were still loud. It's like they're writing these pop songs that are loud. Like, I love that. It's the same reason why the Beatles were so important. Like, they had their guitars, and so much of their music was based off of like their guitar and everything that was going down there. And I think getting into punk for me was almost like, all right, I'm so into this band, Green Day. So it's like, well, where did they come from? Like, you start going back into their history, and you kind of look at everything that they name drop, and they're like always talking about like Husker Du and Dead Kennedys and Bad Religion, and then you keep going back and back into these like, branches of like, oh, this band influenced him, influenced her, and then they got into this, and so to me it was also that other side of like, I really like to know like the history of things, so it's like, how did we get to Green Day? Where did they come from? Would they be around without blank? And then so it's like, and you just keep going back and back.
You were interested in their history as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just goes on forever. I don't believe in your goddamn reality. I don't believe in your lies. I don't believe in the things that you sell to me, but what a beautiful try. Am I supposed to bend down or fall to my knees just cause you up and say jump? I won't be what you expect me to be. I wanna be something more than this. I won't fall victim to your fucking tragedies, cause I don't believe what I see. You cry and you cry cause you want some attention, but a victim is all that I see. Am I supposed to bend down or fall to my knees just cause you up and say jump? I won't be what you expect me to be. I wanna be something more than this. Now ain't no sunshine when she's gone, only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. I wonder this time where she's gone, I wonder if she's gonna stray. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Am I supposed to bend down or fall to my knees just cause you up and say jump? And I won't be what you expect me to be, cause I wanna be something more. I've got to be something more. I wanna be something more than this.
So, just quick on the subject. I don't want to get too involved in it, but being that you brought up the fact, and I'm just asking, just because it's a, here at MoonKIll, we have a wide variety of what we play here, but it still is punk, post-punk, bass, indie, whatever you want to call it, garage punk, rock. Excuse me. Now, what's your take on the Green Day being punk or not punk?
Ooh, we're going there? As a fan, I'm going to be straight up, and I think that, like, I don't think they are punk musically. I think they were punks as kids, like, as a lifestyle. Growing up, they were definitely, like, into the scene, and they were part of that, and they were, for a while, they were independent, doing all that. But musically, they've never really been a punk band. You know, if you go back and you listen to even the stuff they did before their major label debut, like, they was just a, rock and roll band. They were playing, love songs, Not that a love song can be a punk song, but I don't know, just something about the way the chords were put together and all that. They were just like doing like their version of pop, alternative, if anything, if you want to call it that.
You put them more in an alternative state than you wouldn't give them the label of pop punk or bubblegum punk.
I don't like that. I don't like the pop punk.
Just asking.
Man. No, yeah, but I think like you got alternative, or you got like rock and roll. Like it's like I hate to be cliche, but it's just all rock and roll. Like it's like it's just different versions of it. Like. I think that's what they decided to do, is like just be a guitar rock and roll band that just put those songs out there. And I think somehow their lifestyle fit under the punk label, and I think people didn't know what else to call them, But I think that's an argument that doesn't matter, because it's like, well, are they good or not? Do you like them or not? Because I think most people can be like, whether they're punk or not, like I think they're a great band. I think they put out good songs. I think. They've been around forever, and they know how to stay relevant and consistent. That's what I see. And who gives a shit if they're punk? Like, I don't think they need to be. I guess.
Yeah. Just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
See your perspective, because you're a big fan,
huge.
But at the same time, your perspective being as of your, let's say, age as well.
Yeah.
Kids of your age will have a different ideal than, say, kids my age.
Yeah.
I'm not that much older than you, just a couple. But yeah, just wanted to see what you thought. You brought it up, so hey, let me toss it out there, man.
Yeah.
So the whole Green Day thing, and then that whole era is where you started.
Yeah.
Getting your legs in
pretty much.
Getting into music. Yeah.
That was definitely like what started to branch everything off, is just what was on alternative radio at the time, like K-Rock, for example. Yeah, so it was like a lot of, besides Green Day, it was like Blink-182, System of a Down, like that era of band was like what was getting to me. And then obviously you had the stuff from right before, like you had the Sublimes, and you had like the early 311 stuff. Who else am I thinking of? Just that K-Rock stuff, man. That alternative, like, mainstream rock was always what got to me. I was big on the radio. I'm the oldest in my family, so I didn't have anybody, like, telling me, hey, listen to this, hey, listen to that. Like, even my friend circle, like, for whatever reason, we didn't talk about music. It wasn't like, here, check this out. That came later, But it was very much up to me to find it, and because I didn't grow up with, like, the internet, at least not in that sense of, like, oh, what's your favorite record? Here, listen to this. Like, I was always just like trying to find it on my own. It was just the radio or MTV was like what got to me. And again, MTV at that time, so we're talking about like late 90s, early 2000s by the time I started paying attention. So that's a very specific era,
Okay.
It's totally like the heyday, like the
the
death rattle MTV. Where's the closure when everything's eroded? Lost like lovers' flowers, only gravestones can explain. Where's the house at when all our house is broken? Scattered the ashes on your final resting place. Oh, 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 oh. A faster failure can soon become a burden. Was it against your nature to leave me stranded in one place? A sad a stranger can come tame all your yearning. And all I've ever needed is the warmth of your embrace. If you don't wanna take me, I don't mind. God, I don't mind. If you feel better off, then I'll stay quiet. But as you're moving on, keep me in mind. 'Cause I still think about you all the time. Why does loss make us feel so unimportant? When I could love you more than I have ever loved myself. Doesn't matter that both of us was broken. 'Cause you picked up your pieces, left me to deal with the rest. If you don't wanna take me, I don't mind. God, I don't mind. If you feel better off, then I'll stay quiet. But as you're moving on, keep me in mind. 'Cause I still think about you all the time. Why does my existence hinge on your validation? But I still cringe and I lose my patience. And I hate you more than I'll allow myself to know. 'Cause all I wanted you to say is I refuse to go. And I won't love again as long as I'm alive. As long as I've got you to blame and myself to drive insane. Just act your age. Why does loss make us feel so unimportant? If you don't wanna take me, I don't mind. God, I don't mind. If you feel better off, then I'll stay quiet. And as you're moving on, keep me in mind. 'Cause I still think about you all the time.
So basically, you go through there, you start, or you help start Jackson to go, right? They're your first band?
First real band, yeah.
First real band,
Yeah.
which is a fucking phenomenal band for anybody out there. I will not stop geeking over this. And no matter what it is you do later in life, that band is always fucking amazing. You guys are awesome, amazing players.
Thank you.
Individually, but as a whole. So now we're here now. No more Jackson to go.
Not currently.
Not currently. You have Loserdom.
Yeah.
So first song you played. Let's just go down the list of what you played now.
Yeah, so the first one was a Jack song, Reality. That was probably, I think that was like the first song I wrote specifically for Jax. Like a lot of the other stuff was coming in from like my demo days, but that was like, I sat down and was like, I need to write a Jack song. I need like a raw, something raw. And that one came fast. Dude, I was in my kitchen and like I was making like carne asada on one side and I had a notebook on the other and I was just like flipping the meat and I came to do a verse. I'd flip the meat, come to do a verse, like put the tortillas on, come to do a verse. Like, like it just wouldn't stop coming. And I had the first verse, chorus, second verse, in the time it took me to make my meal. You know, and it was just a matter of going into the garage. And see, that's the beauty of Jack's Indigo, and that's what I miss from Loserdom. That's why I needed to be a band. I miss taking that chunk of like, here's my first two parts, like what next? You know, what comes next? And you know how that song goes, how it should go in the middle, like it's a bridge, you know. That's where the drums and bass are like, what if we do this, you know? So that's why I need a band, you know. So that was the first one that I did for them. And then the second song I played was Closure. That's the newest song that I've finished. I wanted to be like, I don't know, not necessarily the first thing that Loserdom does, but I think it kind of defines what Loserdom I think should be, which is just like this loud pop band with like crazy guitars, but like really nice melodies and kind of writing about stuff that I didn't write about with Jack's Indigo. Like that song's really personal. It's about like losing a loved one, you know. And I feel like with Jack's, it was more about like being in love and then being out of love, like, you know. So I kind of want to tackle some other issues and just be like, well, what else, you know, do people go through?
You kept a straight line with Jax or certain boundaries with Jax.
Not necessarily. It's just what I was going through at the time, man. I was coming out of a breakup in, you know, the beginning of Jax, you know. So it's like everything that would come out of me was just like talking about that. Like if you go back to listen to the record, a lot of it is either I hate me or I hate you, you know, and you being, you know, the ex and all that, you know. And so now I kind of want to get away from that. So I think if anything, I'm putting boundaries on Loserdom. Saying, okay, like Jax did this, like what is Loserdom going to do?
A couple years older.
Yeah, and I think it's harder to talk about yourself as much. You kind of want to start bringing more things into it. So because Closure, the song is coming in from that, talking about losing a loved one, you know, it's talking about not just that, but like everything that happens after that loved one's gone. Like how does your, you know, close circle kind of react to that? Like how do they stay together? How do they fall apart? You know, like those questions. Like, you know, that's really what that song's about. You know, and then Friend of Mine is another new one. That was the third song I did after that. The third song.
The third song.
That one's more in the vein of like the breakup and everything, but it's kind of like this weird like how you're like in love with somebody and you're like really done with them, but then you feel like you could still fall victim to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they came back to you tomorrow and they're like, hey, let's pick this up. You're like, there's a part of you that's like, I kind of want to still go there, you know, because you're a human being.
Yeah.
You know, but then you're like, but just remember, you know, you're not gonna get me again.
Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of you out there have been through that.
Yeah, it happens, man. We need to get you some water.
Oh shit, man. And the fourth song, which was
the fourth song would have been Simple.
Simple.
Yeah.
Which
I didn't write. That was from when Jax had another guitarist. She wrote that song, Brittany Forline.
Yeah.
But it was so good, we never gave it back to her. We've been playing it ever since.
Fucking shit. Which is one of my favorite songs off of that Jack's Indigo EP.
Yeah.
It's a great one, man. It's got good melody on it.
Yeah.
It's a good one. But those now, are we looking forward to a Loserdom album, EP?
I think an album for sure. Well, the original plan was to put out 2 singles of kind of all the stuff I've been saving up, get that out of the way. Like I got all that pent up, so I was kind of gonna sort them into like the kind of poppier songs and the kind of more raw songs, and just put that out. You know, 2 singles. Like, okay. Well, no, sorry, 2 EPs. So kind of like short form, maybe like 14 tracks in total, but 7 on each, and just get rid of them. Like we're talking about songs I've been writing while I was in Jackson and in the time afterwards, and I want for whatever the first full album is, I want that to be all new like songs. Like I don't want anything that you've ever heard before, and I kind of want to challenge myself to like write new songs, you know. But so I guess if you're looking out for next year, it would probably be those first 2 EPs.
2019.
2019, yes sir.
First one when?
No solid plans right now, but ideally we're looking at March, April for the first like releases. You know, I need
the first EP to come out.
Yeah, I think so. You know, so I guess now I'm putting it down on record. It has to happen, right? You know,
it's official now.
March, April.
Better watch out.
You know,
because if it don't happen,
you know,
fans will be knocking the door down.
Yeah. That's the other thing that scared me too. Is like not too long ago I did the first Loserdom show, which was just being an acoustic again, and people showed up. You know, I didn't really tell people about it, but people showed up and they were like, "That's good," and I'm like, that terrifies me to think that people were listening when Jax was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's like they're like, well, that's the question I get the most often. Like, what's up with Jax? Like, when's it coming back? When are you coming back? And I'm like, well, I didn't know you cared. You know, like, and I don't mean that in like I always loved to be in Jax. I was always super proud of it. But we existed inside that garage and in those shows. Like we didn't really, know people were paying attention sometimes, you know. So when they tell you we were, you're like, oh, okay, cool. So that's another thing that fuels wanting to keep it going with Loserdom, thinking like, well, people want to hear something, you got to give them something, you know. It comes with a disclaimer like this isn't going to be Jax because it's like a third of Jax, you know. So all the ideas that would have gotten processed through the three of us, you're losing those two members, you know. So it's going to be a whole new filter. But if you liked any part of it, you know, if you like the Beatles, I'm going to give you Ringo Starr, you know.
Right.
You know,
the circus or whatever.
Whatever that record was.
All-Star Band.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the All-Star Band. I can't give you All Things Must Pass, but I'll give you the All-Star Band.
Wow. Okay, so how do people find Loserdom? Is there any way to find you?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, right now there's nothing out there.
Nothing out there. The best thing to do is to just follow me on my own social media thing. I think eventually I need to figure out if I'm gonna switch everything from Jax over to Loserdom or just start a new page. So we're gonna have to do like a part 2 of this where I'm like, all right, I'm back and I got it and it's official.
Everything's out there.
Yeah.
So for right now, you want to hear Jackson to go. You go Jackson to go.
Bandcamp,
Spotify. It's all there.
Yeah.
If you want Loserdom, the only place to go is right here on MoonKIll Radio. Exclusively. Yeah. Because that's how special we are.
Exactly.
You know.
World premiere,
Loserdom. This is the demo right here.
Right. Correct. Found me here. Broken, you fallen victim, your heart untoken. You fed me up and fed me lies, sold me false truths through battered eyes. And now you got me falling. I'm trapped inside a clouded judgment state of mind. I'm trapped cause you are calling, but you should know you ain't no friend of mine. You promised futures with arms wide open, brand new person, yeah, you sold me home. I saw right through you, I still felt for it, lonely heart can. And now you got me falling. I'm trapped inside a clouded judgment state of mind. I'm trapped cause you are calling, but you should know you ain't no friend of mine. You left me here where dreams are rarely spoken. Then you took my hope and sold me lies. You said it's over, now I'm left to grow more. Am I dead and broken on the inside? And now you got me falling. Oh, I'm trapped inside a clouded judgment state of mind. I'm trapped cause you are calling, but you should know you ain't no friend of mine.
Right, so George went through our little library here, a little MoonKIll library we have here. Went through a couple records and just tell us on your own. Just go through what you picked out and why you picked them out.
This is the first one that caught my eye, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, I don't remember the first time I ever saw the actual movie. I think it was on HBO. I think it was on HBO, and it was in the background.
Really?
And of all scenes, it was the scene when when Frankenfurter like goes to bed with the two with what's her name?
The guy or the girl?
Both. And so my dad was watching it, and he stops on that scene. I'm like, what's going on? And then I see the islands. I'm like, oh, that's going on. So you turn around, and then somewhere down the line, I heard why am I spacing on the songs right now? Time Warp. I heard Time Warp, and I was like, that's amazing, dude. Just the length of the song and just the levels of it. And I went to go find the CD. I think I downloaded it like back in the day, and just every song was a hit. And then I saw the movie. I finally went back. I did it backwards. Like I listened to the soundtrack first, and then went back to watch the movie. You know what I'm saying?
But did you watch it like DVD, or did you go actually to the theater?
A friend let me borrow the DVD. I've never gone to the theater. I'm terrified to go watch it.
Why?
Because they're gonna pick on me. They're gonna know I'm like a
You're a
virgin,
virgin.
and they're gonna, you know,
Everybody goes to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
One day that'd be fun as hell though to go to a screening.
Let's go tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight.
You're crazy.
Saturday night.
Where do they have them?
They still show them 4th and Cherry, as far as I know.
What?
Yeah, and then a few places still show it.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
This might be a MoonKIll
Yeah.
bonus episode.
See, and I don't think, I mean, and the last time I saw it,
Yeah.
that I actually went to, well, I took my kids to see it. My girls, they're 16 now. I took them when they were 12. I first saw it in the theater when I was 8 or something like that. But and of course, it's always evolving.
Yeah.
You know, because the last time I saw it, they were saying shit that I was, what the hell are you
Yeah.
guys saying, man? You know, it was nothing that I remember.
Yeah.
You know, but which is cool. You know, at one point you're like, this sucks, you know, because it's not what I was saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was cool because, you know, again, new generation, you're doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they're as abusive to virgins now
As it used to be?
as it used to be, because some places you would go and they would tell you, or if you're gonna come in here, you're a virgin, they would paint a V on your forehead.
Just like, so
And
they know.
and all the virgins sat in the back.
That's funny.
You know, that's it. All virgins sat in the back.
Yeah.
I didn't go through that because my family knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And they said, don't tell them you've seen it before.
Yeah.
And I forgot, it was at the marina
Uh-huh.
in Long Beach, and they had a girl and like 2 people behind her. She was going up to everybody. You've been here before. You've been here before. And if you said no, they put a V on your forehead.
Yeah.
You sit in the back.
Damn.
Yeah, like they were ruthless.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think they do that now.
No.
But
There's
you've
only
seen
one
it.
way to find out.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen it
Yeah.
live.
No, unfortunately.
So let's get to the next record, man.
Well, the next one that I saw was like right next to it. You have like a soundtrack section. So Star Wars. You know, Mr. John Williams himself. You got Darth Vader in the back right there, ladies and gentlemen.
It's always
But-
cool.
That's
What-
like that theme song, man. Like just the fact that it's like the movie kicks off like, bah, you know, it's like that blew my mind as a kid. We had those on VHS, so you pop them in. You're like, what's this? You know, same thing. And then you know the song starts and you're gone. You know, for the next hour and a half, you're just like your mind melts. You know, as a you know a kid. You know,
Yeah.
so that entire soundtrack, like, I think more than a lot of other films from my childhood, that soundtrack just is burned in my brain. You know, and the fact that like I hear soundtracks from other films and I just can't really remember listening to the music because everything's so like action heavy and you remember the images so well. But like I feel like there's so many moments in Star Wars the movie where it's just there's silence in the action and there's no dialogue, but the music is just what's like hooking you in there, you know? Like the sunset scene when he's like looking out into the distance and you have the theme going and you're like, I don't remember how he looks. I don't remember necessarily. I know that there's a sunset, but the music is like, you know, it's like,
But when you hear the music,
I can think back.
you think back to that scene.
I can't do that with like modern soundtracks. Like I'll listen to like the Avengers or like any of those like new Marvel movies, like those big superhero movies.
Yeah.
And it'll be playing. I'm like, what? When did this play in the movie? Like I don't remember this part, you know. And it has a name of it. Like the name is like, you know, Jar Jar Binks gets a drink of water. I'm like, I don't remember him getting a drink of water in the movie. I guess this plays in that scene.
There's too much going on.
Action wise, yeah. Like, and I think it's flipped. It's funny how movies have flipped that way, where now you have it's so action heavy, and it's kind of like they really have it planned out from the beginning, you know. Whereas with Star Wars, everybody knows that was like saved in the edit, so the music was a big part of saving that entire film. So it takes over like the action in a weird way, you know. And then the third one I got was Girl Pool. right here.
Girl Pool.
Girl Pool.
The first one,
First
right?
one.
The
Yeah.
first one.
It's the one that I've listened to in full the most. You know, I remember I heard Blah Blah Blah. I saw them in person. We were at Viva Pomona. They're the only band I like, dude. You know, and I don't know who else played because nobody else was like impactful. But they went on stage, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on right now? You know, and then Blah
it was
Blah
just
Blah.
the two.
It was just the two. Yeah, it was before they incorporated like the additional musicians.
The whole band.
The whole band. I don't even know. Do they play with the whole band, or is that just the record?
No, the last time I saw them, it was the whole band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just them two, you know. And I think they were probably promoting this record because they played all the songs from this record, you know. And it was just amazing, dude. I think they were playing some from the second record before the world was big, at that time, but I don't think they'd put them out yet. Because I remember hearing that second record and being, oh, those are those songs from that one time I saw them, you know. But just something about. And I don't think a lot of bands have this, and if they do, I've never had a chance to see them in person. But like, you know, when a singer and the second singer just have voices that melt together perfectly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To see that in person was amazing. Their
Yeah.
voices go together so well. Like, I don't know if they've worked on it or if it just was like a happy accident that they sound good together. But it was just to be in front of them and just watch them sing like that and play just the guitar and the bass. I was like, you don't need drums, dude. Like, I never say that. Like, I never see a band without a drummer and be like, that's cool. No, that was the first time I saw a band. I was like, you guys are good like that. You know, like, it sounded great.
Right on. Well, since you picked out records,
Yeah.
and a couple of them old, one new.
Yeah.
Give me, just, I mean, your personal thing. Give me three bands that influenced you in the past. And you still go to shows, and I mean, you still go to shows and see bands, or
not often.
Not often.
Honestly, yeah. Like, most of me watching a band is very like visual. Like, it's like I'm okay with seeing it like footage wise.
But be clear it. You do play drums in Trap Girl.
Yes.
So you Loserdom. You play Trap Girl. This guy also produces. We got bands coming out or bands you're producing.
Yeah. Right now I'm working with the Tombstones. They're like a Johnny Cash kind of Growlers influenced band.
Okay.
They're a 2-piece right now. I don't know if they're ever going to expand that, but we're working on like an EP for them. And then in the past I've worked with Gamma Gamma on their first thing. They put that out. It's called Gamma versus the World, and they're like ex-members from the Bends. Do you remember I mean, it's like.
I remember the band, the Southgate band.
Yeah.
So the Tombstones. They're from Southgate too, or
I think so. Yeah, they live in Southgate. So I'm assuming they're just going to call themselves a Southgate band. You know. So yeah, but that one's going to be cool. They're doing like a 3-4 song thing.
So right, but their stuff's not out yet.
No, we're finishing it.
Just the Gamma.
Gamma Gamma's out. That was like the last big thing I did. And then Trap Girl's going into the studio beginning of the year. So we're going to put out the Savage Goddess.
Now, are you just playing drums, or are you doing the boards too on those?
Well, I'll be doing actually for, and here's another MoonKILL exclusive. I'm actually going to be doing all the instrumentation on the new Trap Girl record.
All the instrumentation.
All of it, yeah. So a couple of our members, can't be with us, for the next kind of tour cycle. So we're going to kind of take advantage of the fact that they're going to step out for a bit, and we're just going to kind of go into it as a 2-piece. Drew's writing all the songs. Drew's doing all the lyrics. Drew from Trap Girl, obviously. And then I'll be taking over on the instrument side, and we'll see how that works out. It might be a mess, but you heard it here first.
So there you go. More exclusive.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear his production, you can go to Gamma Gamma. Look up Gamma Gamma.
Gamma Gamma versus the World. And
Gamma Gamma versus the World.
And they're on Bandcamp.
On Bandcamp. And that's your production.
That's my production.
Singing, guitar playing, Jackson to go. You heard Loserdom play here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you can, just real quick.
Yeah.
3 bands that influenced you, and then give me 3 new bands you're into.
3 new bands.
I mean, if they're a couple years old, whatever. Like, Girl Pool's been around for a little bit, so.
Yeah. Well, growing up, besides Green Day, it was the Beatles. Like, their production was always like, it just blew my mind. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a third band that was that important for me. That's just the Beatles and Green Day are kind of my Bible, man. Like, you either did it like them or like Green Day, and that was it. Like, that's just what got me. New bands. Girlpool's cool. I'll call them one of the newer bands. I kind of fell off with the new the band stuff though. Like I've only really listened to the first 2 records, or it was just them 2 alone. I don't know how I feel about them like having a full band. I
Oh,
don't
the
think they
last
need
you
it.
didn't listen to the last Power?
I
Power
listened
something?
through it, but I wasn't paying attention. You know, like I was
Okay.
like, oh, there's just too much going on. I wasn't expecting this. You know, new band.
I mean, whether they have stuff out or not, or if track was played with them or whatever, you know, you've played
Okay,
with them. or
yeah, for sure.
Anybody out there.
Jan is cool. Jan has always like made me nervous every time we have to play after them. It's so loud, dude.
Oh, they're
In the
good.
best way possible. Like I can never play drums as loud as Candace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was listening to Big House the other day. Actually,
That's good.
it's so good, dude. And then the third one would be Fatty Cakes. I listened to that record nonstop since it came out. Fatty Cakes. I forgot what the name of that record is. I can look it up.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it yet, but it's
Oh,
it's
you
on my
should.
wish list. No, I've listened to it. I have, but I haven't downloaded it or bought it yet.
Get the vinyl. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a band where like they were they've been around for a while and they put out a bunch of releases on their Bandcamp. But they finally went and did a full length. They pressed it.
Yeah.
They took some of the songs they'd already done and like did better, like, well, not better versions. They did newer versions of it. I think they're better, obviously, but I think it like they fit within the context of this record, and it just like from start to finish is not a bad song on that record. You know, like I don't know. That's a band that we saw evolve. You know, like we played in their hometown in Fresno on the first kind of little winter tour that Trap Girl ever did. Yeah, with Trap Girl, and it was them. It was all the members, but like I remember. Amber, the lead singer from Fatty Cakes, she was playing a glockenspiel, and she was playing like a hand organ, and that was it. And then the girls were doing the singing, and then there was a bass and a drum, and that was it. And ever since then, like they've expanded the band. Like the girls, the backup singers, you know, have instruments of their own. Amber's on an electric like ukulele thing. I don't even know what it's called. And it's just great, dude. It's great to see a band go from being awesome to being more awesome, you know, like yeah, like how do you like you're making us look bad, you know? But yeah, those are some newer bands that I think are important.
Right on, man.
Mm-hmm. Simple inconsistencies brought you to me again in my dreams. You're getting stuck like glue into the deepest corners you're seeping through. Falling away into the deepest depths of stories and mistakes, mixing the pain to create a perfect morning in shades of gray. Never again will I let you get away from me. I'm keeping you safe right here in the memories. Time is of the essence. Will I regret this when I wait? You're getting stuck like glue into the deepest corners you're seeping through. You're falling away into the deepest depths of stories and mistakes, mixing the pain to create a perfect morning in shades of gray. Never again will let you get away from me. I'm keeping you safe right here in my memories. Now I am wasting my time with thoughts of you, but my time isn't wasted when your face is painted in my view. I'd rather be alone than have you missing from my soul. It is getting clear that losing you's my one true feel. La, 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 la.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. I want to say thanks, George, for coming and playing for us. Even though, for those who don't know, if you do listen to MoonKIll or watch these interviews and bands playing, it is your man George here on the boards for MoonKIll. So he is MoonKIll Radio as well.
That's right.
But we did want to feature him. He's doing his own thing. This guy is a busy motherfucker, right? You have the MoonKIll. You have Trap Girl, Loserdom. You're producing Tombstone now. Again, there's the older stuff, the Jack's Indigo stuff for everyone else to look. And I will keep plugging Jack's Indigo for the next, 40 years. But he's a busy guy. And anything else you want to say, man? Or
no,
anything you want to put out there?
No, man, just thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me play my songs. Thanks for always being a big supporter of what we do.
Stalker.
Yeah, man. You were all, if we had 1,000 of you, if we had 10,000 of you, man, we'd be done. That's it. What else? What else do you want?
We'd be in the mansion.
Yeah, I'd be.
We'd be doing MoonKIll by the poolside on our yacht.
Exactly. In the middle of like a Dr. Dre music video, like like
just butt naked freaks
everywhere.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, we can always get posters.
Yeah.
We'll put them up here.
I think so.
All right. Thanks, George.
Thank you.
All right, man. Till next time, MoonKIll Radio. We're out.
Peace.